Good evening, sir. My name is Rajesh Kumar. My branch name is Tech in Communication Engineering, and I am going to say about the impact of COVID-19 on Indian economy. The impact of coronavirus pandemic on India has been largely disruptive in terms of economic activity as well as a loss of human lives. Almost all the sectors have been adversely affected as domestic demand and exports sharply plummeted, with some notable expectations where high growth was observed. An attempt is made to analyze the impact of possible solutions for some key sectors like food and agriculture. Since agriculture is the backbone of the country and a part of the government announced essentially category, the impact of is likely to be low on both primary agricultural productions and usage of agro inputs. Several state governments have already allowed free movement of fruits, vegetables, milk, etc. Online food grocery platforms are heavily impacted due to unclear restrictions on movements and stoppage of logistics vehicles. RBI and finance ministers announced measures will help the industry and the employees in the short term. Insulating the rural food productions areas in the coming weeks will hold a great answers to the micro impact of COVID-19 on Indian food sector as well as larger economy. And the second one is aviation and tourism. The contributions of the aviation sector and tourism to our GDP stands at about 2.4% and 9.2% respectively. The tourism sector served approximately 43 million people in FY 18 to 19 aviation and tourism were the first industries that were hit significantly by the pandemic. The common consensus seems to be the COVID-19 will hit these industries harder than 9 by 11 and the financial crisis of 2008. These two industries have been dealing with severe cash flow issues since the start of the pandemic and are starting at the potential 38 million layoffs, which translates to 70% of the total workforce. The impact is going to fall on both white and blue collar jobs. According to IOTO estimates, these industries may incur loss of about 85 billion rupees due to traveler restrictions. The pandemic has also brought about a wave in innovations in the field of contactless boarding and travel technologies. Telecom. Next one is telecom sector. There has been a significant amount of charges in the telecom sector of India even before the COVID-19 due to brief price wars between the service providers. Most essential services and sectors have continued to run during the pandemic thanks to the implementation of the work from home due to restrictions. With over 1 billion connections as of 2019, the telecom sector contributes about 6.5% of GDP and employs almost 4 million people. Increased broadband usage had a direct impact and resulted in a pressure on the network. Demanded has been increased by about 10%. However, the telecos are bracing for a sharp drop in adding new subscribers. As a policy recommendations, the government can aid the sector by relaxing the regularity compliances and provide moratorium for spectrum dues, which can be used for network expansions by the companies. Next one is pharmaceuticals. The pharmaceuticals industry has been on the rise since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, especially in India, the largest producer of generic drugs globally with a market size of $55 billion during the beginning of 2020. It has been surging in India, exporting hydroxychloroquine to the world, especially to the US, UK, Canada, and the Middle East. There has been a recent rise in the prices of raw materials imported from China due to the pandemic. Generic drugs are the most impacted due to heavy reliance on imports, disrupted supply chain, and labor unavailability in the industries caused by social distances. Thank you, sir.